Have you ever been absolutely sure about something, only to discover you were completely wrong? Your brain is incredibly intelligent, but it also has hidden shortcuts that can quietly fool you every single day. Every second, your brain processes far more information than you could ever consciously notice. To keep up, it fills in missing details automatically. Most of the time, that's helpful, but sometimes it leads you to false conclusions. Your mind loves patterns. When information is incomplete, it quickly fills the gaps using past experience. That ability helps you react fast, but it can also make you see things that aren't really there. Neuroscientists have found that your brain constantly predicts what will happen next. Instead of waiting for every fact, it builds the most likely answer using memories, habits, and previous experiences. If your brain can trick you this easily, can you train it to make better decisions instead? The answer is yes, and it starts with understanding one powerful mental habit that almost everyone overlooks. One hidden trap is that your brain naturally pays more attention to dramatic information than ordinary facts. Surprising stories feel more memorable, even when they're less accurate. This is why first impressions can be misleading. Your mind often builds a complete story from only a few pieces of evidence, leaving important details hidden outside your attention. The simplest way to avoid many thinking mistakes is surprisingly ordinary. Slow down. Giving yourself a few extra moments allows your brain to search for missing information instead of rushing to a conclusion. Before accepting your first answer, ask yourself one question. What evidence might I be missing? That small habit encourages curiosity instead of certainty. And better decisions usually begin with curiosity. The smartest people aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who regularly question their own thinking. And that's exactly where the next step becomes even more interesting. A powerful mental habit is forcing yourself to think of at least 3 possible explanations before choosing one. That simple exercise reduces snap judgments and encourages your brain to look beyond the obvious. Another useful strategy is comparing information from multiple reliable sources. When different pieces of evidence point in the same direction, you're much less likely to be fooled by incomplete or misleading information. Good decision makers rarely ask, "What's the fastest answer?" Instead, they ask, "What's the most likely explanation based on the evidence I have?" That small change in thinking produces remarkably different results. One mistake to avoid is becoming emotionally attached to your first opinion. The more you identify with an idea, the harder it becomes to recognize evidence that challenges it. The same principle works in business, science, and everyday life. Better decisions often come from questioning assumptions together, testing ideas, and being willing to change course when stronger evidence appears. Start each day with one simple mindset. Be curious before you're certain. Curiosity keeps your mind open, while certainty too early can prevent you from seeing better ideas hiding in plain sight. Here's a practical challenge. Before making one important decision today, write down your reasons. Seeing your thoughts on paper often reveals assumptions that stayed hidden when they were only inside your head. Over time, careful thinking becomes easier. The more often you pause, question, and verify information, the more naturally your brain begins choosing stronger conclusions instead of faster ones. Research in cognitive psychology suggests that deliberately considering alternative explanations can reduce common reasoning errors. While it doesn't eliminate bias, it often leads to more balanced and accurate judgments. Your brain will always rely on shortcuts. That's part of being human. But once you recognize them, they become tools instead of traps. Better thinking isn't about perfection. It's about becoming a little more accurate each day. Every important decision shapes the person you'll become. The more often you choose evidence over assumptions, the more confident and reliable your thinking becomes. Not overnight, but one decision at a time. Studies in learning and decision-making suggest that reflecting on past choices can improve future judgment. Looking back isn't about regret. It's about giving your brain better information for the next decision. One of the greatest rewards of critical thinking is peace of mind. You spend less time reacting to rumors, assumptions, and emotions, and more time making decisions you can confidently stand behind. Remember this: your first thought is not always your best thought. Give your mind permission to slow down, ask better questions, and change its opinion when stronger evidence appears. The strongest minds aren't the ones that know everything. They're the ones willing to keep learning, keep questioning, and keep improving. Curiosity is the habit that turns ordinary thinking into extraordinary wisdom.